So I was thinking about this. I was just talking about the guy I went to high school with, and I said, I'm not even sure what I would say to him. And I do know exactly what I would say, and I'm going to say it now because he's out there, he'll get it. But I apologize. I forgive you. I apologize for making you wrong for however long I've been in high school, 30 years? More than that, 30 years? 30 years, at least. Yeah. That's what's up. So say it now to the people who are alive and are living now when you have that opportunity. So part of your assignment between now and next session is to have 3 conversations with the people on your list with a commitment to restoring integrity. Come back having created 3, now look, here's the opportunity of that. Come back having created 3 breakthroughs with the people in your life. That's 3 shots. 3, you can take on more than 3, but create 3 breakthroughs in your relationships by next session. Now I appreciate that for some of you, the thought of creating 3 breakthroughs between now and next session seems impossible. Do you know if we gave you 3 weeks, you still wouldn't create 3? I mean, if you were left to your own devices, you wouldn't create 3 breakthroughs. But it's like, get yourself on the hook for something. Like Maggie got herself on the hook for something. And I appreciate the struggle. I don't, but you worked through it. And you got yourself on the hook. So get yourself on the hook for causing 3 breakthroughs. What a horrible thing to be on the hook for. Oh my gosh. I'm going to cause 3 breakthroughs in my life with the people in my life. So I promise you, if you take on doing this assignment and being unreasonable, even if you fail to produce a result, doing the assignment and being unreasonable will make an enormous difference in your life. Aisha, this is the whole conversation I was having with you about your word. You take on being unreasonable and you keep honoring your word. Whether you fail or not isn't the important part. It's that you took it on and you went after it. Because you start to know yourself as somebody who's unreasonable. You don't let reason sell you out, is what we mean by being unreasonable. It means acting without reason.
When you go to advanced course, you really understand.
That's right. I'm getting a little bit right now. Okay? All right, so, all right, good. So now right and tied into this conversation, this is like all connected, is that we're going to have a conversation to empower your commitment for having the people who are important to you have transformation in their lives. And you could hear it all night long, right, with the people that you're sharing about. For almost all of us, when we're present to the possibility of the Landmark Forum made available for us, we want everybody to have that. We want everybody to have that opportunity. However, it's often the case that with some people in our lives, we experience that we can't fully share ourselves with them, or there's just some barrier that's in the way, or we can't fully express our commitments or our stands for what could be possible for them. Consider that in our relationships where we don't feel free to express ourselves with someone, at the heart of that, what's in the way of you being free to share yourself fully with them is there's some lack of integrity from the past that's not been completed. If you've got broken promises and agreements with people that you've never cleaned up, how free are you going to be to share yourself with that person? Probably not very much. Or if you do open up your mouth, how receptive are they going to be to hearing what you say? Oh, come with me to my seminar. And they're still thinking about the, broken promise you made to them 2 years ago that you never completed. So, if there's someone in your past you've lied to, or you've got broken promises, or you're incomplete with, it becomes very, very difficult for me to share myself with that person, or if I do, for them to hear what I'm saying. Or even worse, they can't hear your stand. As you begin to restore integrity to the important relationships, oh, Ellen, that's perfect, because that's exactly, there's now a space there. He can actually hear what you have to say. There wasn't before. That's what that hug was. Acknowledgement of something got complete for him. Right? So, as you begin to restore integrity to the important areas in your life, one of the possibilities that will arise is you being freed up to fully share your commitments and to fully share your stand for that person's life. And it's possible to share yourself and your commitments powerfully and without reservation, with nothing in between you and people. You know, imagine your life where you could share anything because there was nothing in between you and the person you were sharing with. So between now and next session, as you begin to bring integrity to your relationships, I invite you to bring the possibility of fully sharing yourself. And if you're willing to share yourself, you will find yourself being naturally very effective in inviting others to come and find out about transformation for themselves. All right, so I want to work with some people to do some coaching on where you've been stopped from being effective in sharing yourself and having the people in your life look at the possibility of doing the Landmark Forum. All right, so who's a request for coach? Yeah, Danny. Okay, and as I'm working with Danny, you know, if you've got people in your life where you see that you're stopped with, you want to be looking for yourself. Okay, so who's the person? Okay.
Yeah, so she, I was with her this past weekend, and she had some kind of like breakdown. She's really struggling in her life, and I've been trying to enroll her since I started this work. I got my mom to the forum in March, and so now she's got someone, she's in Pennsylvania, so she's someone close that's doing the work. I know she's seen transformation in us, and we have a decent relationship. I mean, we're not super close.
What did you rate her? What did you rate the relationship?
A 5.
Okay.
So, and it was the morning, she has 2 boys. She didn't come home the second night I was there, and till the morning. And she was out with her friends or whatever. So like her husband and my mom and I got the kids off to school. She came home, she went to sleep, and I went in at noon and was like, okay, this is enough. You have to get up. Like, we already got your one kid, your other kids, you know, and she was like, oh my God, it's 12 o'clock. Like, that does not happen. She's a very responsible mom. Like, it was really weird. And she had this whole breakdown and was like, I'm so depressed. I'm literally about to have a nervous breakdown. And she was like crying, and then she would be like, fine again. And then cry. It was really weird. I'd never seen her like this. And so because I have tried in the past to talk to her about Landmark, I again said, you know, I really want to be a stand for you doing this work. Like, I don't know what you'll get, but you will get something, and I know it'll be amazing for you. And I just want to share that with you. Like, I want you to have the same kind of transformation that me and Mom had. And she just shut down and was like, you know, I'm fine. All of a sudden, everything that she had just said was not true anymore. And she's like, I'm in therapy. That's, you know, what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it this way. And I just don't know what else to do, you know, but this was scary. Like, this behavior, like she needs something else. I'm like, it's not enough, obviously. What you're doing is not enough because it's not working. But she wouldn't hear me.
I got it. So let's take a different look at this, okay? So first of all, I got your commitment to your sister. Yeah, like that's what's underlying the whole thing. And you rated that relationship a 5. So when we just did this exercise, did you see with her any broken promises or agreements that you have with her, or where you've been relating to her from standards and ideals?
I talked to her during the advanced course and the communications course and the forum, actually, around I had made her sort of wrong in the past about a lot of different things. And I got cleaned up that I had made her, that she didn't live the life, she's not living the life that I would have hoped for her. You know, she didn't go to college, and she didn't, you know, do the things that would have helped her be sustainable, like be able to sustain her own life. And now she relies completely on her husband, who now just cheated on her, and now she's got to figure out how to have a whole life without him. It's going to be hard, and it would have been easier, you know, if she would have had some foundation. But I got cleared up with her about that. I got cleared up with her about the fact that, like, our entire childhood, we weren't close.
And when you say you got cleared up with her about that,
We talked.
okay.
And out of the forum, I created the possibility of us being friends. And then her husband cheated on her with one of their friends, and that fell apart because I was trying not to be a burden on. She had so much, and every time I would try and call her, she was like, "I don't have time to talk right now," you know. And so then, out of I don't know which one, the communications course, I called her back and created a possibility of like, you know, are we committed to being friends? She said she was down for that.
So let me just ask you something. How often do you talk to your sister?
I'm trying to talk every couple of weeks,
Okay.
but it's not. I mean, we just are like.
So I just want to check something out with you, okay? So, do you do a course, you see something, you call her,
Mhm.
and you say whatever you say, and that conversation and it's impactful, and then when's the next time you talk to her?
It's like every 2 weeks. Yeah. I mean, I definitely don't stay committed to it in a
Yeah.
real way. I make all of these considerations about what she, not being a burden, like not being in the way in her life.
So looking right there, what do you see the lack of integrity is?
With the possibilities that I've created,
Yeah, because you said what?
that we have the possibility of friendship.
And what would that look like?
Well, I mean, communicating more. She says she's going to come down here. She's just trying to figure out. I've been here 4 years. She hasn't been here. So her coming to visit was, and she brought that up this past trip. I don't know her. Like I don't know what's there. Like I was so surprised that she acted this way this weekend. Because she's smart. Like she gets the transformation that's there for me and my mom. Like she's not like that. I don't understand what the blockage is.
I got that, but that's not going to buy you anything in this conversation. You
Yeah.
got to deal with. Do you see how? Did you all see the turn she just made?
Yeah.
Because we're having a conversation about integrity, and she just went here.
Yes.
You do that too,
Yep.
by the way. She just is doing the work for you up front.
Right.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you. You're doing great, by the way.
Like I feel like it's
hold on.
big.
So who can see yourself, some aspect of yourself in her sharing? Like this is how you are with the people in your life. This is what it looks like, and then you wonder why it doesn't work, right? What just happened with you?
I just thought of something else.
What?
Well, I'm just wondering if it's bigger than just like I'm wondering if I need to apologize for something more.
Well, like what?
Well, she mentioned something this weekend about how mean I was to her when we were little, which I was really terrible. And I thought I had apologized for that. Like, and I kind of joked, like, we talked about that so many times. Like, I sort of made it like, we're good, But I was feeling like maybe I haven't talked to her about it since doing this work, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, have you ever really been responsive? So if you look right there, what was the broken promise or agreement?
So one of my principles is, and one of my values is family, and the closeness and support of being a part of a family.
Yeah.
And I was not her sister growing up. Like I wasn't her older sister who is in the way that I would imagine an older sister to be, or the kind of older sister that I would want to be.
And what was the impact on her?
Yeah, she was alone all the time. Because when my dad died, we all fell apart in different ways. And so, like, we all went different directions. And she went over here, I went over here. And I did not connect. I didn't reach out for her. I didn't check on her. I was just ignored her. I really ignored her.
Yeah, and have you ever cleaned, like really cleaned up with her?
No.
From this work, the broken promise, the lack of honoring what you say you value, which is family, and then the impact, like really the impact on her.
Like why? It's so. What I'm present to is that, like, why would she listen to me telling her